Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too if you're watching content like this. The name of this channel is Manifesting Magic, the practical way. And on this channel, I talk about a whole lot of ways that we manifest magic in our lives and some of the practicalities that have to go along with it, right? Nonetheless, what I'm talking about today is how to avoid some common time wasters, right? Because what I realize is that sometimes time is an illusion, right? Sometimes we can feel like a day goes by really, really fast, and then sometimes we can feel like a day goes by really, really slow, right? So what makes a day go by really quickly? Normally a day goes by really quickly when we have a lot on our minds. It's not so much as a lot to do, but it's a lot on our minds, right? Like yesterday, I had a lot to do. I started at about 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock, and I kind of fiddled around. I didn't have a lot on my mind, though. I knew the tasks that had to be done. I had to sit for a couple of Zoom meetings, and I was working from home yesterday, and I was sitting there creating a little bit on some project, creating some documents, putting them in these, shared drives, just all this little administrative stuff. But I didn't have a lot on my mind because I knew what had to be done. So I kind of was just going with the flow of it. And I looked up after I sat in a couple of meetings and I was taking notes and I did some work, and it was like 11 o'clock. And I'm like, wow, I feel like I've gotten so much done today. And like the time has passed by so slow. Normally it's the opposite effect, right? So it was just further reinforcement that time is an illusion. Like the way we feel about it, the way we approach it, right? And the more you have on your mind, the more you have clutter in your mind, the faster it is time will go. So some common time wasters are, well, number one is, I kind of touched on it, having too much on your mind. Like having a little handy dandy notebook or using your notes inside of your notebook and just checking and making sure that you have all these things that's on your mind on a piece of paper. That's a good place to start, because once you do like a mind dump, like you do a mental dump, you sit there and take everything. They call it a brain dump in a lot of places. You sit there and take everything you have in your head and just put it on a piece of paper. Like what? Because your brain is going to keep on flowing through the same little thoughts over and over and over again to stay occupied. That's what it does, right? It's like a little computer. So if you're not feeding it any new information, it's just going to keep on yelling the same little things at you. Pick this up for the kids, passport document, got to pay this bill. Oh, got to do this for dinner, blah, blah, blah. It's going to keep on doing the same little stuff over and over again, right? And it's a common time waster because it makes you feel like you're a lot more busy than you actually are because your brain is so full, right? Another common time waster is going to be small talk and conversations with people that are not based on anything beneficial that's going to take you to another level, right? So you might find yourself sitting in conversation with people and it's by mistake or whatever. I was talking about this with someone, I can't remember, but I was like, when I go to work, I like being early so that way I can kind of like get into a zone already and put like earbuds in, so that I don't have to have these like empty pleasantry conversations. Because it's not that I don't care about people. I really don't care about the small talk, I like to know, yeah, you're there. I get you. How you doing? Hope everything's well. Talk to you later. Like that's my, I don't really like the whole, what did you do this weekend? You're only asking me so you can tell me what you did. And not that I don't care, but it's not important, right? Because we're going to see each other over and over and over and over again. So, you have your special people, the ones you actually have conversation with that you care about. But sometimes people are just chatting. And it's not even, they don't even care who's on the receiving end of it. And I don't want to be a person that's sitting on the receiving end of a conversation when a person doesn't even care who they're telling it to. It's just not. Because, you're not really tapping into who you're talking to. You're just tapping into what you want to share. And so it's like, no, thank you. Empty pleasantry conversations about gossip, conversations about nothing and everything. Those are time wasters. I even limit these with family. We talk about a lot of stuff, especially one of my siblings, my brother. We talk about a lot of stuff, but it's like, I know when I have time to have those conversations and when I don't. And normally it's about once a week, which is great, right? And then, with parents and things, once a week, once and a half, but text messaging is great because it really gets people straight to the point. People like, ex-mother-in-law, she likes to chat. It's fine, but I'm not in that mode. So I'm like, text messaging is great. What do you need? Tell me in a message. Because you'll find yourself being available for people in their small talk conversations all the time. And you'll waste about an hour and a half, 2 hours on talking about absolutely nothing that was beneficial to you. And you'll still feel just as busy and just as preoccupied and just as overloaded as you did before you had the conversation with them. And, sometimes you need those conversations, but limit them if you can. Stop making yourself so available to have people's, mindless conversation when they don't even really care who's on the other end, right? It's not even personalized. Another thing that's a big time waster is going to be social media. I've mentioned that before. I'm not on social media anymore. I got off social media so many times before in the past, but this time I got off of it before killing the accounts. That's how you know you're over it. Because when you kill the accounts, you may not be over it because you're trying to force block yourself into not using it. But then I realized, I was like, let me just keep the accounts open and see. This was sometime last year. And I don't share anything on them. I haven't shared anything in a really long time on social media. So I was like, what's the point? So, of course, I got rid of Facebook first. That was easy. And they let you delete your account now. So if you're interested, it used to be deactivate. But the minute you log back in, you're back in there again. So now if you delete it and you don't log in for 30 days, the account is gone. It was so nice getting rid of all that stuff. All the pictures and everything. I have those pictures. They're in my digital photos on hard drives, thumb drives, on the cloud. I have so many pictures. We have so much stuff these days. It's not like when you were a kid and your parents had like 5 baby pictures of you. You had to hold on tightly to those. But now I have digital copies of all those pictures, right? Instagram, all that. No. I don't know what else people are on these days. Oh, TikTok. That's a big one. No. Snapchat, I never ever had a Snapchat account. I don't know about that one. But yeah, so any type of social media account you find yourself continuously scrolling through. Twitter used to be just words, and now it's like pictures and links and all that kind of stuff. You've been around for a while when Twitter didn't have all that stuff. And it's like, those things, I'm not saying you have to get rid of it like I did. I just don't have interest in that kind of stuff anymore. But I will say, it's a time waster. So if you can limit yourself to maybe 30 minutes a day or something like that, or either once a week, whatever, I promise you can live without it. You can really, really live without it. There's nothing happening there. People just showing off stuff. It's not happening. People just showing you how great something is. There's some things like business advertisements. Depends on what you follow. You might see some positive or motivational messages, that kind of thing. But I figured that stuff is all the same. I can get it in one place. So if I'm going to use anything, it'll be YouTube. So I post on YouTube and I use YouTube. I told myself, find one place to be social, I guess. Social is not as like social media like the other ones, but I mean, it's a way to kind of communicate with the world. And, let that be it. And then if I want to look for somebody in something, audiobooks, how to do things, educational, all that, YouTube is a one-stop shop for that. So I'm like, it's good, right? Huge time waster. Another time waster that's kind of like off the beaten path and it's kind of like in another way. It goes with social media, I guess. It's kind of watching too much TV, like Netflix, stuff like that. I like to have a little show on Netflix or something that I enjoy every now and then. But definitely making it a priority is a big deal, right? I have a hard time getting into shows like I used to. I used to be so easily, caught up in the plot, the theme line, what was happening. Now I find myself playing episodes over and over again because I immediately start doing something else more important. So just kind of minimize how much are you taking in. Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, IMDb, that's something else now, Freevee or something like that. Just be mindful of how often you're taking in those particular types of time wasters, not social media, those types of time wasters, because they can really get the best of your day. You sit there and binge on something on a weekend, it's like 6 hours sometimes to like binge a TV show, 6, 7. You don't want to give that kind of time away to like a TV show. It's just, you're not going to take care of anything you want to do to manifest the magic in your life, right? You're going to be a little couch potato. And I guess last but not least is uh, bitterness and resentment. It's kind of off the beaten path a little bit, but that is a big time waster. And the reason why it is because when you spend time on that, you find yourself doing what people call ruminating. When you start ruminating on what you think somebody did to you, or what you think people are trying to do to you, or what people are getting away with, or what you don't like that they're doing, or what you don't like that they're saying, all this kind of stuff, you'll find yourself being in a place where you're ruminating all day. And ruminating is similar to like the idea of the to-do list and dumping your brain, right? If your brain dump needs to be dumping resentment and all that, go ahead and jot that in a journal. Get it out of your head. Go ahead and think about something else. And the biggest reason why is because you're going to find yourself spending hours on hours in a day thinking about what you should have said in a conversation, what so-and-so shouldn't have said to you, what you can't believe they've done. People are built to disappoint us. That's why we have to know who we are and what we want in life that goes beyond the people in our immediate environments and stuff like that. And so you have to remember that people are not meant to just please you in life. So bitterness and resentment, it is a true time waster. And when you think you're not being bitter and resentful, think about the person in your head and see what kind of thoughts pop up after that. And whether you have some revenge mindset, or whether you have some, I'm going to get back at them and I'm going to, tell them how I feel about this and I'm going to show them, approve to them or whatever. That's bitterness. That's resentment. It doesn't matter if you don't latch on to it in that way. That's what that is. So you'll find yourself ruminating. And so acknowledge it. Realize that it's rocking with you for whatever reason at this point in your life. And go ahead and let it sit in the back seat. And I wouldn't even say the back seat. Go ahead and put that thing in the trunk of the car. Don't let it anywhere near the driving seat at all, right? Don't let it inside your vehicle of life, I'll call it. Let that thing go, because it will waste a lot of time. And what I find that regret, rumination, resentment and bitterness, all that, it loses your years. It takes away your life, right? It takes away meaningful time that you could have been connecting with people, that you could have been growing, that you could have been elevating yourself to the next level, right? So those are my things that you need to go ahead and get rid of when it comes to time wasting, right? It's so easy to waste a lot of time, and I can't remember what they all are from the very beginning. But number one, I can't really remember off the top of my head. It was definitely like small talk, wasted conversation, gossip with people. I didn't mention gossip. That's the thing. Another thing was, spending too much time on social media. That's a big one, right? Another one was having too much information in your head and making sure you do a brain dump. Another one is binging on television shows, like Netflix and Hulu and all that kind of good stuff. And then like the last one that I said is a little bit off the beaten path. It's like rumination, bitterness, resentment. That'll take years off your life. And you'll realize you've missed a lot of meaningful connections and interactions because you were holding on too tightly to negative things, right? Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. My face is kind of woken up, right? When I'm not all the way woken up, I sit back from the camera so I won't look like I'm tired. But get rid of those time wasters. We all have the same amount of time. Life is going to go no matter what. Just don't use it on useless things that are not elevating you and evolving you and helping you create that beautiful and amazing life that you choose, right? Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day.